I just wanna chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she's 21, I said alright. If we gon' be grown, then speak your mind. I just wanna chill and vibe. 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 Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Turn up, gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. I start the show. Only good vibes. No, I'm serious. Let's start the show. Come on, mom. Come on, boss. Only good vibes. Turn up. Turn up.
Hey, what's good, Sippers? This is your boy Buddha, and over there is the lovely
Baby.
Tighten up, baby. I love you so much.
You know it's gonna be a laugh because we doing this virtually, so ain't no tighten up.
Ow! So, baby, how was your day?
It was a great day to be great. And how was your day, baby?
I'm happy the bitch is over. And I'm drinking. The end.
Well,
what you sipping on, baby?
Huh?
What you sipping on?
Well, a margarita.
Did you make this margarita?
It was leftovers from Azteca.
Oh, you done went to Azteca on me, huh? Okay. Boss move. I get you. What's good, Joy?
I gotta do. Somebody had to feed me.
Who had to feed? Okay. I'm staying in my lane. What's good, Joy? What's good, B Slim?
What's good, Silkers? You already know what time it is. As you can see, I am in one place and your boy is somewhere else. But we are still bringing you our sipping and conversations because this is what we do. We make things happen. You know what I'm saying? And
yes,
so,
good.
With that being said, babe, give a little quick recap about last week.
Well, last week was really powerful, man. We had a conversation about what is Black culture. Not only that, we had one amazing man on the show taking my place and sitting in baby seat. His name was Brian Bunton. He's an author, an entrepreneur, the co-founder of Sophisticated Arrogance, and he brought a different type of perspective, a different type of seasoning and flavor to what it is that we do with Sipping in Conversation. So I honor you, brother. Thank you for stepping in and helping baby and myself out in a little different time. So what did Black culture mean to you, baby?
Well, when I think of it, I look at it from different perspectives. Like I mentioned last week, I think of fashion, like trends. When I hear it, I think of Christianity. One of the things you mentioned, I agree. I think it reminds me of oppression. So it's a lot more to it, but that was just the boom version of
the quick version,
the recap version.
Right. And from my perspective, I definitely thought of oppression. I thought of slavery. I thought of us not being able to get our just dues. I thought of reparations. I think of us as a whole in the struggle
Mhm.
we've been through over the last 400 years in this thing, 400 plus.
Right.
But before going deeper down that rabbit hole, I got a few shout outs that I need to give out in this time. Yesterday, um, we had to talk live. So I like to honor the fellas that was on the set, Mr. TJ Chapman and the Chapman Show. Uh, Definitely Dr. Love Jones from Jimmy and I and Level Up, Living Your Best Life, the author of that.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and my close friend, Crow Easy, Crow's Mesh Promotion. I love what you're doing, Mr. Single and Unavailable, not available. We also had the architect, the chef, Don Willie. Much love, brother. We had the soldier, the militant one, Slickety Rick Arnell, the artist. We also had someone near and dear to you, baby. Todd Nick Love. Todd Love.
DJ Todd Love.
DJ Todd Love.
Jam Cam.
Jam Cam, man. And he brought such a dynamic perspective for what these fellas needed yesterday. As well as one more. And we talked about him earlier, Bryant Bunting. Man, it was a hell of a cast. They was answering these great questions, man. They did their damn thing, bro. And I want to honor you fellas. Thank you for stepping up, grabbing the baton by the horns, and running with it, man. Because men are the prize, and we as men, we need to elevate other men to do what they need to do. Step up and be the great men that they are. So
Yes, absolutely. Um, and before we get into the preliminaries of, we're getting all the preliminaries out of the way. I said I wasn't gonna cry, so I'm gonna do my best. So we all may or may not have heard, but one of our great good friends transitioned on Sunday, and I want to also give a special shout out to the family of Eric Bass. My friend Deborah, his new wife, is, so it's been real touchy, an emotional roller coaster ride for me. But, I think we're doing well as a family, family, friends and family. So I'm going to just say as a family, to be supportive for her, how she needs it. And, just to kind of take that burden as much as possible from her. So we miss you. We love you, Eric Bass. That's from Sipping in Conversations. I know Buddha has his own special words that he has, but we here, we riding. So that's from us, and it was a tough one to hear this, to watch this one. Some of our sippers know he was actually a guest on our show a couple times. So he, this one hurts. This one hurts real bad for me. And I'm even more emotional for Deb, his wife. So come back, get myself together, and we're gonna get right into this week. Change the pace a little bit from last week, but we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back into last week in the weeks to come, because it's definitely one of those topics that we're not gonna just sleep on it. and we're not just gonna let it go away. So give us a few moments, and so I can get myself together, regroup, and we're gonna get into this week's topic. Okay, we'll be back.
Oh, this is for the simples. Yeah, we sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. Yeah, we sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl sipping, then bring her on through. What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl singing, then bring her on through, baby.
What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, then gon' come through. What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, come through.
What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl sipping, then bring her on through. What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl singing, then bring her on through, baby.
What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, then gon' come through. What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, come through.
We sipping in.
We back.
Hey everybody,
All right. So, baby,
it's me.
what we talking about today?
Baby. It's me, the baby.
First. Out on love. Both of merch. We both wearing merch today. Okay. I'm here for this shit. So what we talking about today?
So, in case everybody want to know, because I'm sure y'all like, what y'all talking about tonight? What y'all talking about? So tonight, what Buddha and Baby are going to be talking about, if I can get it pulled up. Pros and cons of long distance employment.
Really, baby? Really? This is what we're gonna talk about?
That's what we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I mean, let's put my glasses on so we can get into it. All right. I'll go with pros. I'll give a pro. One of the good things about long distance employment, well, most times you're getting paid. So get your money. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? So that would be like one of the big pros, in my opinion. Possibly being in another city, being able to explore somewhere, set up shop as it applies for you and your family. So that's what I would go with as a pro. So what would you say?
As a pro?
What say ye, oh great Buddha?
About the pro or a con? Which one you want me to go for?
You go with it. I went with a pro.
I'll go with a con because obviously I'm in the other city. I'm close your ears for those who are thinking I'm going to be so politically correct. You ain't gonna get no sex from your significant other. You've been used to having sex with them once, maybe twice, 3 times a week, and now you're not even touching them. You're missing that companionship. See, there, I made it a little more politically correct, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I wanted to use the F-bomb so bad.
You could just say the F word. That's F word.
It don't come off the same. It rolls off the tongue differently.
Say
You
it
have to
with
say
your
the word.
chest.
You always, you allow me to say this, baby?
No.
Okay. Okay, we got it.
No. No, so really, um, I would say you one of the negatives, you is what you said. I'll piggyback off of that. The companionship is gone. Well, I don't want to say gone, but there's a lack of it, and especially when you have in this day and age with things happening and so forth, to have your companion with you, even just to say tap you on the back and be like, baby, it's okay. Um, that would, get you emotional, even more emotional.
I got you. I'm
Um,
with you all the way. I mentioned
yeah.
it.
So
I mentioned it first.
yeah, I know, I understand. You did good. What else would I say would be
What's
bad?
pro?
A
You talking about?
con.
You
I'm
going
gonna
to the
say
con this time?
I'm gonna go to a
Oh,
con. One of the cons of it is if y'all ain't got y'all relationship established, you done open up a whole floodgate of opportunities.
that's where you going?
That's what I got. I'm saying opportunities.
Okay. Well, give me an example. What opportunities are you trying to say? I
I'm
want to
saying
know.
that other man or the other woman,
Oh, okay. I get you.
or just
All right.
being available.
Understood. Understood. I guess if I slide in and give a pro since you gave a con. You said what was the first one you said again? What was your pro?
Uh, Money.
Money. All right. I'm gonna say, well, it's kind of tailing off money, but more exposure and advancement in your own job. Being able the opportunity to get your name out there in a way where the company, the infrastructure of the company, has no choice, I guess, but to understand and know who you are. If they didn't know who you are before, once your name gets out there, that allows you more opportunities for advancement and growth within your company, if you so choose. Right?
Mm-hmm.
With that advancement becomes more of a steady, you know, idea of security for you and your family, right? Because like you know how these ladies are when you're dealing with the three P's: protect, provide, and pipe. As much as I like to say that pipe is a driving force, if you can't provide for them, that is the toughest one to come back from on both ends of the spectrum. The person who's need to receive the provision and the person who needs to give the provision. You know what I'm saying? So
And it doesn't necessarily mean if it's just the man. These are things that can go.
either way,
It's just this is a good topic because you are working out of
out
state,
of time.
and
That's
so right, and possibly will go back, and so there, what I see could happen, or what I let me see. I'm going to make the right words. What I see is an opportunity to strengthen the relationship. You know,
why do you feel
because
why do you feel like
well,
it would
why I
strengthen the
say
relationship?
strengthen the relationship, it gets strengthened because it's gonna determine. Well, I guess I should say it's gonna determine what the strength is. um, the strong will the strong survive? You know what I mean? Like all that established the foundation has been established for for opportunity, for the good days and the bad days. So it's like, okay, so will he go astray? Will she go astray? Like, will these be the times where that person go astray, or will they stand true and hold it down because they know daddy out there taking care of business or mama out there taking care of business?
True indeed. I get you. Kind
I
of like
wonder
how
what my
you.
sippers think about this too.
I mean, kind of like how you over here going to Azteca and having a leftover drink without my knowledge. How much control or how much control or
I went out to eat with
influence?
some friends after I finished a tribute for one of my other friends that passed away last year.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's a great segue. How much information
Right.
do you need to have? So, I guess for my next portion of this, right, will
Mm-hmm.
be when you talked about the foundation that's being tested. I'm gonna say one part of should begin to blossom would be communication, because you have to communicate a lot more in a lot
Yeah.
different a lot more different ways, where it might have been just a phone call or a text. Now you're FaceTiming a little more. Maybe you're being a little more forefront about things that you took for granted. Like, oh, how was your day? You know what? It was just a day. Now you're more like, yo, it happened this way, this happened, this, that. You're being more descriptive, because guess what? He or she is not in your face. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Where she's laying in the bed or whatnot.
As I half
Take
listening when you
have
tell
listen to
what they
nothing. You
told.
know what? He or she might be naked in front of you, teasing you with a lot more extra stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff that you wouldn't normally get because you take for granted because they laying right next to you. You know what I'm saying?
Just something to keep the spark going, But at the end of the day, it's going to really boil down to your established foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As far as if y'all been having issues before this, whichever mate goes take this employment opportunity, long distance employment opportunity. If y'all already having issues, you know what I'm saying? It can really go any which way. It could go good, it could go bad.
I
So
get
it's
you.
like if they
I
have
get you.
if you already having if something comes up,
Well,
and I'm
well,
just
well,
saying, like, if something came up, why you gonna be big mad?
right. Well, I'm gonna bring it to you like this, baby. Let me bring it to you like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, the microscope, everything that's being done when you're not in the same city and not living together, or however your relationship is tied, magnifies tenfold. So, for example, if there's something that she does that irritates you personally, but you let it go because uh, you know, you're a laid back person. Let's say that. You're just a laid back person, so you don't took stock into that. Now he or she does that when it's a long distance situation. It can
Do
become
what you trying
magnified.
to say.
It can become magnified. You know what I mean? In certain aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, she used to smack or something, smack when she eats. Now she eating, she's smacking, and it's more annoying now because first of all, you're not there. You know what I'm saying? People are usually quick to hang up the phone now because you know what? I ain't got to deal with the consequences anymore.
Yeah.
Before,
Let's see what the people say.
mm-hmm.
We got a comment that came in.
Okay, let's see what it.
Let's see. Y'all know I can't see.
Oh, I got you, baby. You need me to tell you?
I got you.
It says, this is a
It's a
good
good
conversation.
conversation. I was a little uncomfortable there for a minute, but it's a good topic. I'm with a guy that is out of the country for 6 weeks at a time, and I love it. We FaceTime daily, and you just have to be honest with each other. Absolutely. Because 6 weeks at a time,
that's a month and a half.
Period of time, you know. But I can see the plus side to it because, like, it, you know, especially depending on one's love language, you know. It may, if you are the type of person that requires the touch,
love,
physical touch, you know what I'm saying? It'll be difficult, but if you like embrace gifts and communication and other things like that, where you can supplement, or you know, like a combination of a couple of others, then it helps. Like I like my private, I don't want to say private. I like my free time, my space. I like it. I do. I like it. I like being able to do whatever I want to do, even if it's doing nothing. So, like when Buddha goes to play football, I do really want to be a good woman and support him, but I really don't want to be at nobody's football field hot and sweaty when I could be catching up on my shows, you know, go to brunch, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And
look
that's
here.
his time.
Look here. Let me tell you something. I'm not finna give you no. I ain't finna green light your ass on that shit. Nigga like support. The end.
And I do. I make sure you got what you need.
No, a brother want to see you at the game, right?
I'll go
Sometimes.
to one game.
You ain't been to a game in over a year.
Well, that's because of COVID.
But no, I'm not complaining. But what I'm saying
you
is,
just didn't see me. You were done with your game.
I mean, well, hold on. The point of the matter is, you know, people want support. So I get what you're saying, but people still want support when y'all around each other. You don't want to ever create an idea that you ain't gonna support them. To the fact where when they start doing things, all those nations that they normally do, that they just stop inviting you because they already know that you're not gonna go. You don't want it to be a consistent thing. You want it to be an open-ended thing where you say, no, I'm not going, right?
I want to be like a ninja and show up. But nonetheless, long distance employment. Stay on topic.
But we are on topic.
I know.
We're on topic. But so I'm gonna add something to it.
What else would you all say is like pros and cons of having a long distance employment?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right off the top of the dome. It's just accessibility, right? Let's say something's broken in the house, your car broke, stuff that you would normally do, you know, normal maintenance, you know what I'm saying? Cut the yard, that stuff. You know, you're not there to do that anymore. If you cook, you're not there to cook anymore. Now a person's got to fend for themselves in so many other words.
They gotta go to Azteca.
You was going to Azteca either way. What's going on?
I don't go to Azteca unless you with me, baby.
Oh, don't try to butter me up. I figured out what your superpower is just now. You like to blow smoke up people's ass.
But I do. I don't go unless I'm with you. I have not been there unless I was with you.
You can't say that no more.
Because I needed to eat.
But what I'm saying to you is this: like, in real life, the accessibility to do the things that you normally do are gone, right? You know what I'm saying? What about the protection in the house when you hear that noise in the other room, or that bug that need to be, you know, squashed, or the mosquito, whatever it is, and they're not there to do those type of things? Wow.
But look, I tell y'all in a minute. I don't believe. Once upon a time, I'd be like, I don't need no man. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Okay. The devil is a lie. I don't want to do nothing by myself no more. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to change no light bulbs. I don't want to do none of that. You heard me. Look, that light flickering. Can you change it? I don't want to do it.
Oh, can you move this refrigerator?
Can you move anything? Okay.
I got you.
That looks like it need to be over there. I mean, and so I agree. Like, we really, men and women alike, do take advantage of the things that, that are routine.
So you said take advantage?
They take advantage of it.
Or take for granted.
You're right. They take for granted. We as people have the tendency to take the simple things for granted, because it's like, yeah, just because that's what it's presumed what they're going to do, the responsible thing and all that stuff. What happens if your man or your woman take this opportunity, or they've been offered a job, and they have to go set up shop for the next level, and you're left holding down the fort?
I think, you run the risk of the opportunity for them having a big opportunity, right? Where now your whole idea of infrastructure of the relationship is tested. So I asked this question to the sipper, right? So if you make, let's say we're gonna throw numbers out there. So let's say you as a man make $50,000, right? $50,000 a year, right? Your woman makes $60,000-$70,000 a year. Obviously, she's breadwinner. Now, your job sends you to another out of town on travel team, work or whatever, to see some other sites. That particular site loves you so much that they offer you $100,000 job. Now you got a real idea, thought process of what you need to do for yourself. So it could create an imbalance of what you know to be non-selfish, because you've been in this relationship your whole entire time that you've been in this relationship, versus the idea of thinking of self in a situation that can better your situation wholeheartedly. Now, what do you do in these situations when it becomes a financial hardship versus a financial freedom? Do you choose the money, or do you choose the relationship? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, me personally, I would say go get the money, but take me with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be, you're right, is marriage in the future? And so that's one of the sippers asking, is marriage in the future? So, I mean, if we've been living, if the ideology of it all is that we are in this relationship, and you left to go to do this thing for the job, we already together, then you get offered an opportunity that's like going to not just benefit you, but benefit the mass, your family as a collective. It's like, go ahead and do that. Get it. Take the job. First of all, get that opportunity. And then what'll happen is, okay, they gotta, I ain't gonna say they have to, but most likely you'll come back, you kind of get your affairs in order, and now a real solid plan gets put in place. So,
well, I mean, I guess I see there was a comment, why not choose both, keep the relationship and get the bag?
right.
Well, that's all good in theory, right? But it also It also raises the question of where you at in life, you know. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say this word because it's been dragged through the mud for the last couple of years about love languages, right?
Mhm.
But it plays an important role here, right? If your acts of service or your gift giving, then a situation like this would be ideal. You'd be okay with it because that ain't stopping you from getting your gifts, you know, or getting certain things. You know, some certain things. But here's the thing: if you are a person that is quality time driven, then regardless if you get the bag, the most important part is creating continuing that, you know, that connection in a space where both of y'all are in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes a hardship, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you are the one that needs quality time and you're at home, and this guy is really, he or she is really trying to better the you know, better the situation for the both of you. You're not going to have any understanding why they're doing that because your needs ain't being met. See, a lot of
Well,
things.
when you say it like that, I do get it, and I know that is a real thing that does happen. Absolutely. However, I feel like, you know, again, it goes back to what type of foundation has been pre-established. You know,
Mhm.
because we already know what each other desire, what each other love languages are, and all those things, right? So, yes, it may be that you go. We under the initial onset was you're gonna go for this job, right?
Mhm.
While you're on this job, you get presented an opportunity.
Okay.
When you get presented this opportunity, now you say, I gotta go back home, even if it's for a week, to get my affairs in order
Mm.
before I come back and commit to this. You know, like most
I get
jobs
you.
will say,
Do so.
absolutely, you know. So then you
So.
come back, you talk to
Mhm.
your mate, whether it's a man or the woman, you talk to your mate, and you guys, it's,
There's an
I
echo when
don't
you
know,
speak, baby. I don't
it's
hear it
gonna be
though.
like that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. So what's gonna happen is, Buddha, I'm gonna put you on mute when I talk.
Okay.
All right. I'll put Buddha on mute while I'm talking. That way, because it's probably gonna be because he is virtual. Okay. But for the most part, I think that when when you come back and you all are talking with each other, y'all get an understanding and whatnot. And then if y'all are not already married, then I would say go get eloped. And at least you know when your man or your woman is gone, then you gonna come back. He or she gonna be where they at as your husband or your wife, and go.
I agree with what you're saying wholeheartedly. I just want to preface that you're making great points, baby, and I'm not going to take away from it. But you said something earlier that I wanted to address. You said making sure your foundation is straight. That is good in theory as far as straight. I'm blowing up. But anyway, here's the thing about your foundation, right? Your foundation was set on the idea that you and the other were together, right? Not once were you thinking that you were going to be 600, 700 miles, 800,000 miles away, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was no question, it was no idea to question where the foundation was in the beginning because you're already in the same space. So now you're adding a new element that has not never been there before. Yeah, you might have went on a girl's trip, and yeah, you might went on a guy's trip, but this is an element where this potential guy is moving to another city and took in-house, in-city, everyday relationship, and now made it an LDR. Those are different circumstances when it comes to understanding what your foundation is really made of and what it's really built on. Just saying.
No, I agree. I'm gonna mute you, okay?
Mhm.
I agree. I do. I totally get it. It's now become a totally different dynamic of a relationship. However, why can't, like one of the commenters said before, why can't I have both? Right? So with that being said, why can't I have the man or the woman and the job? Because for me personally, if there's an opportunity where this is actually going to be a bigger, much more elevated, leveled up opportunity, I am now going to, my sole mission is putting a plan in place that's going to benefit my family, you know, my mate, my family, all those that are under my reign. So when I go, I'm getting this job opportunity, and I'm gonna, even if it's for temporary, even if I'm establishing temporary housing, I'm gonna be making sure my mate is gonna be with me within a certain time frame. You're unmuted.
Oh, I get it. I get what you're saying.
So
I
it's not
totally.
like it's just always, it's long distance, but this is the goal that's been mutually agreed upon, is that we're gonna find somewhere for us to stay, even if it's a crash pad for 3 months, 4 months, you know, whatever. Somewhere within 3 to 4 months, I'm gonna have us a crash pad. But it's not as if we won't be able to see each other at least 2 or 3 times before the actual ski down.
Interesting.
If they really are in this relationship for the long term.
You're
Otherwise, we're
right,
gonna
but
find out what it's made of.
you're absolutely right. But it's like in my mind, it's like, I mean? So let's see what some of the sippers say. I mean, before I say anything, let's see what some of the sippers say. Let's go.
All right, all right, all right. Pretty much what I said. Why can't you have both?
Mm-hmm.
Is the marriage in the future,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I
Okay,
got you.
so if I'm in a relationship here in Florida and my job wants me to relocate for a bigger bag, that's easier than if the job is in Washington. Also, if you're a flight attendant and you got to relocate to another base, it's not going to hurt the relationship that much as long as I'm still in the country. Okay,
Interesting.
all right. So I agree. Depending on the type of job, it does play a major role. Ex-wife or husband is in the military and have to deploy for a year, and your love language is physical touch. Then what, right? You
Well, I
get cheated
mean,
on.
I I I totally agree. But what if let's talk about it. Like somebody said, is marriage in the future? Let's say marriage ain't in the near future. Let's say y'all are working out the kinks of whatever this relationship is going to be. You realize you love this guy. You just realize you loved him. You know what I'm saying? Or him or her, whoever it is. And this happens, right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, neither one of y'all are thinking about marriage. So what? Oh, excuse me. What does it say? What if the other party doesn't want you to go and gives you an ultimatum, me or the job? That kind of leads into what I was going to say, right? I was really going in that direction. You know what I'm saying? At what point does your wholehearted selfishness, or the person that you are, who could be selfish or not, rears its ugly head on the true opportunity here, right? We all want the best for our significant other. But do you want the best for your significant other at the expense of your happiness?
So I'm gonna mute you real quick because I actually have I know I can attest to this personally. I was in a previous, in a previous relationship, and it wasn't like terrible or anything like that, but they made a move to relocate. However, during the time I was in school to get my master's, and I wasn't finished yet, right? And so, with that being said, it wasn't like either person gave anybody an ultimatum. I just made the decision for myself that I, first of all, I wasn't going to just make no run for a guy that was my boyfriend, even though I loved him, right? That was one. Two, I was in the middle of getting myself in a much better position so that when I do relocate, I have a much more solid foundation for myself. So I was being selfish, right? So essentially, out of love for my significant other at the time, we decided, I guess, ultimately it was us. We decided that it would be much more beneficial that we go ahead and separate and salvage the friendship. But I've been in that position. It was hurtful, but I learned. You live and you learn. You know what I'm saying? So that was my story about ultimatum. You muted yourself. You can talk now. I took you off mute.
I'm with it. I'm with it. So what do the people say, baby? Let's go to what the people say.
All right. Let's see. You already got that one. Okay, I'm not making permanent decisions for a temporary situation. Marriage needs to have already been discussed. Not doing because I'm afraid I'm going to lose him if I don't. Not doing it. Well, for me, quickly,
That's interesting.
what if marriage for either isn't what either wants? So, I mean, I know everybody's situation is different, but hypothetically, if both understand that both don't want to be married, then what?
Well, I get what you're saying, baby, but I'm gonna come directly to the actual idea of the statement that was made, right? That's such a very black and white ideology on what situation could be, especially coming from idea that I like to think women as a whole really do deal in the gray area when it comes to situational situations itself, right? So when I hear this statement come from a female, interesting enough that they are willing to forego the idea of being in a great relationship because the relationship is great because they don't see the end game right away. While the thing that they're doing is trying to better themselves. Don't you want the better version of this person so he can be the better version for yourself? So the question is, you're looking for the cart, you're putting the cart before the wheel before you make the decision. Is that really the right way to look at it? I'm not saying it's wrong, but is it really the right way to look at it? And would you be okay with a person doing you like that? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I would pose the question to the answer to that statement. You feel me?
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up what the people say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna mute you real quick, okay? Mute yourself for a moment.
I got you.
All right. So if there's no sacrifice, then ultimately it's not going to work out. It may for a while, but it's going to be a lot of strain. Next, do permanent long-term relationships really work? If moving for work is best for the family, then everyone needs to eventually move. I agree. And that's what I was saying earlier. Ultimately, whichever mate it is, whether it's the man or the woman, um, that gets presented this opportunity for betterment, for essentially it is betterment for that person, right? It's their job. It's their life. They can choose whatever they want to choose, okay, at the end of the day. However, being in a marriage, and even if you're in a marriage, because people done made all kind of changes. People done made all kind of changes in their life, right? But we're just gonna stick with the hypothetical situation where the man or the woman gets this job opportunity. They go for work purposes, temporary work purposes, right? Then while they're there, they're presented this opportunity of a lifetime that could potentially just open doors for them to go even further, right? As Buddha was saying earlier, this is an opportunity where you could possibly go even further. Like they started you at 6 figures. You can add on to that, right? Boom. So how hard is it gonna be to move your family with you? And then if your man or your woman have a good job as well, surely for temporary purposes, while they're looking for a job, you can hold it down. That's the whole point of you being there and you getting everything set up. So that's my take. Unmute yourself, baby.
So I'm asking a question. Maybe this is not a long term. Let's say that this employment is sitting you on a not so long term assignment where you're coming back within a month or two. How do you feel about like hall passes? They got that saying that Ludacris always say, I got pros or hoes in different area codes. Like, how do you feel about hall passes and being able to fulfill a need while both of y'all are in different spaces? I mean, could that be a thing or not a thing? I mean, I'm dialing back enough to say that maybe this, you leaving the state for a while could be just something temporary.
We're gonna start with it being temporary, and you're satisfied.
Right.
When we have to cross that bridge, will we represent?
I'm asking the question because at the end of the day, people out here, right?
But
I mean, like, I'm asking the question because, like, really, this shit happens. Like, people either gonna do it with the permission or without the permission, and
right.
the mind is the devil's playground, and so to speak. And if you already have certain type of issues, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it later.
We visit at a later date.
Home, or the man.
Or is it a situation, or is it a situation like you don't ask, don't tell? Right? Is that like a situation? Is that a thing?
We won't do that. That's where you create that bullshit.
Well, I mean, yeah, you might create you. I mean, so the answer, Magic Don Juan, question. I mean, are they not going to even visit? Maybe they can, maybe they can't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, if I'm asking a question, and how you feel is how you feel. And I'm curious to figure out how you feel. I mean, the shepherd itself, right? So let's give it. I'm just gonna throw this example out there. Maybe true, maybe fits you, maybe don't. So if you love sex and you and your mate have sex 3 to 4 times a week, right? Because that's a feeling that you need. But you're going for a month and you used to having sex 4 times a week. That's a drastic change. That's a real drastic change.
So that
And
would
it's
be
a
a
real
con.
thought.
That would be one of those cons on the list of cons of long distance employment.
I mean, that's a
Hopefully,
real thought.
but hopefully before your mate um goes on a temporary long distance employment opportunity, it may initially be employed, like I said, it could, all things that could be temporary or permanent, whatever, right?
Interesting.
So if it's temporary, you guys should have already been talking about
Wait.
leading to it.
I want to, baby, I love you. Somebody said, have you prioritized what's important to you, a nut or your partner? You make it sound so very like one is a nut and the other one's your partner, right? But let me change your wording a bit. All right. Are you prioritizing your own desires, your own personal desires for who you are and what you love and who you are as a person or your partner? See, now that changes how you would think about it, I would think. Not just a nut.
I just still say that there should be discussion, because you don't just get up one day, mute yourself for a moment, quick, baby, real quick. You don't just get up and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this long distance job, right? So now you and your mate have already should have been engaging in conversation about you know the hypothetical ways of this thing turning out, and the what, basically putting in the what if scenarios, so y'all could kind of get a general idea of how you may or may not handle the circumstance, and being able to have a alternative plan A. I don't say plan B, just alternative plan A. All right. So with that being said, it goes back to what you were saying earlier in establishing a better line of communication with each other, because it's definitely the dynamics of your communication has to change, especially considering you're going to be in excess of, let's say, a 2-hour drive.
So I'm with you, baby. But let's check. I'm gonna switch gears up here. I'm gonna take it off of the idea of sex, right? I'm
I'm
gonna take it
thinking
off the
beyond
idea.
sex. I ain't even on sex.
I know, well, for the sense of nut and your partner, right? I'm gonna take it off the idea of sex. Let's take it off. Let's go this direction. You on a long distance trip for an extensive amount of time. It may be temporary, maybe for permanent. But for the sake of this discussion, let's say this is a temporary idea, right? Said somebody lose somebody close to them, maybe not a family member, but like a best friend, right? And now they are an emotional wreck. Your job is not finna send your ass home for somebody's best friend. Are you okay as a man or woman allowing your mate to find a connection or a solace in somebody outside of you?
Well, you
Even
gonna
in
have
this
to learn.
even in this temporary, because this is an emotional idea, or it could create a more emotional tie with somebody else because they're in their time of emotional need. How does that play in to what you got going on in a long distance relationship?
I don't want to call it a long distance relationship, first of all, unless that's what it began to, that's what it was. Like, if you're just temporarily working out of state, out of, country, then I don't see, you, especially if, for a significant period of time, let's say 2-3 months or more at a time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to go on and be realistic with each other, first of all. But in the likelihood that there's a crisis that takes place, it's not always that a man or a woman finds comfort in the opposite sex. Because if they got friends, they got family, they have choices. It's not all
True.
inclusive that they have to go to the opposite sex. So however, if their love language is physical touch, then maybe they are compelled to have that companionship, even if it's just for that moment, to regroup. I don't know. I'm just saying.
So
Uh,
I'm gonna preface this statement. I like you. I like where you went with the opposite sex idea, but I'm gonna ask you this question, and any sipper can answer this question as they see fit. Do you think if you're in a relationship that you only just get jealous of a person that's of the opposite sex that's talking to your mate? Sometimes you get jealous, like my man Todd Love said on the talk yesterday. You could be jealous of the state of a position that a person is taking in their life, right? Man or woman, you're not fulfilling that role anymore. So whoever is fulfilling that role, man or woman, you're going to have a problem with. You see what I'm saying? That is not gender specific. You know what I'm saying? That's not gender specific. That
say it
is a
again, baby.
person
What you
that feels
said?
specific. That's not gender specific. That is an idea of you as the significant other fulfilling that role that's not being fulfilled at that moment in time. If you were that shoulder to cry on and somebody else, sister, brother, mother, friend, opposite sex guy fulfilling that role, you're gonna feel some type of way. You see what I'm saying?
y'all, y'all see your boy getting geeked up, right? Okay. So that means it's time to
Well,
go
hold on, I
ahead
ain't
on.
get geeked up at all. Just know that word specific and Pacific, that's been fucking me up, regardless if I had a drink or not. So let's talk about the elephant in the room.
No, but you made a good point. No, really good point. Absolutely. So tonight we've been talking about the pros and cons of long distance employment, not a relationship per se, but taking a long distance employment, be it permanent or temporary, while you are indeed in an active relationship. Okay. So let's see what they said. One last, what the people say.
Okay, yeah. Y'all can talk shit about me all you want, but I'm at least real about my shit.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. We understand. We
Okay.
understand that. We understand that that's one of them trivial things, baby. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? It gets the best of us. You know what I'm saying? So listen, we're gonna do a final thought.
All
Run
right.
with it. What are your final thoughts?
Oh, you gonna go with me right away? All right, you can go. You can go ahead. I mean,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
guess I got you. So my final thoughts on long term employment. At the end of the day, as a person who is going out to get the bag, you got to do what's in the best interest of you. Hopefully that aligns with the best interest of the foundation of your relationship. But if it don't, then you got to ask yourself that question: what's more important to your well being? Because you don't owe nobody nothing other than yourself. If you don't think about yourself, as Love Jones like to say, how are you going to give the next person the best version of you if you don't take care of yourself first? So that's
Okay.
my final.
Okay. I'm gonna mute you.
No problem.
I'm trying to help with the echo for the people in the bike. My final thoughts is pretty much an echo to what you're saying. Essentially doing what's best for you, especially if you are genuinely doing what's best for you on behalf of your family, which would include your mate, children, etc. Is what you got to do. It's it will behoove you to engage in active conversation so that you guys will be on the same page with where your next level is going to be. Because if you don't, then you start having miscommunication and you start having this up, down, up, down, up, down. And so I think that essentially do what you have to do for you because I agree, if you're not putting yourself in a winning position, how do you set yourself up, you and or your family up for success in the future? So I would say go with it, but at the same time, just be mindful of who you're doing it with. We're not doing that.
Oh, baby, I
These are
really
my final
you
thoughts. What
open
you
up.
doing? What you freaking out over there about?
Oh man, you hit something. You hit a part of this topic that needs to be talked about in your
We're
final
gonna
thoughts.
discuss it later.
So because it's your final thoughts, that's what I'm like. Oh, ooh, but I'm gonna let you be great, baby. But that shit that you said need to really be talked about. It really does,
I
and
ain't
it
do
needs
no
to
one say
really be.
exactly what you said. What the fuck we talking about?
No, you didn't. You
I did.
because when you said it, it took me somewhere else,
Oh well,
right?
that's not my problem.
No, no, but hear me when I say this, baby. Hear me when I say this, because it hit home in a different way. So, like I'm saying, just for a few minutes, just bear with me. So, what I'm saying, let's say for your children's sake, let's say from your children's sake, right? You're going to take a job because it makes more money for you, right? But you're going to be missing in your children's life. So, what is more important? No, I'm not tipsy. What is more important, right? The quality time that need to be spent for children that may be young, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when they're more impressionable, or getting this money. So that's where I went with it when you said what you said. It was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I want to
But
go ahead and take this great job that's going to make this great money, but it's not going to replace time spent, which is just as important
hold on, time out.
when it, we're
You're
dealing
muted.
with children.
You're muted. You're muted. Okay. Come on. For the people in the bike. Okay. I did not say you were going to leave your family. I'm simply saying when you leave on this temporary, on this with the when you're leaving, you're presenting an opportunity that will have you be gone temporarily. Now, yes, unfortunately, sacrifices will probably have to be made. Now, granted, again, you put a plan of action in place, but this comes into communication, right? So you put your plan of action in place, especially if kids are involved. Now, mom or dad may have to hold it down for us a little window of time until whomever is the person that's gone set up temporary shop to bring everybody. But again, y'all communicate. I don't care what kind of relationship it is, whether y'all married or you dating, committed, monogamous, polyamorous, polyandry, whatever, okay? Whatever floats your boat. You got to be able to communicate at the end of the day. So, there's that. Listen.
Thank you, baby. Thank you for,
because Buddha had to lost his whole marbles.
No, I didn't lose my whole marbles, but see, I'm thinking about relationships in general, and we did talk about where the employment was more long term. So I was going back to the idea. I was going back to the idea where it becomes long term, where you really do have to move. And I'm not really talking about a relationship because hell, I haven't been someone in my children's lives full time in a long time. So I was a non-custodial parent, right? So in those situations where you're close enough to be in a relationship, but then you have to make this move, that could be a more hardship than it is fellowship.
It all depends. Everything is situational, you know what I'm saying? Because one thing begets another, Sometimes if it's already kind of bad, hell, what's 3-4 more months?
It all depends on who you are and how you feel about the situation. I agree.
Right, but
I agree.
3-4 more months, damn sure ain't gonna, for betterment, you may as well go ahead and do what you gotta do. You might go to feeling better when you you know what I'm saying, when you secure the bag. All right, very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, silpers, creeps and freaks, it's a great day, y'all. It was a great show. If y'all believe that it was a great show the way I believe it was a great show, boom, boom, boom. You already know what time it is. Like, follow, share. We all over the place, and it's on. We on week 3, week 2, week 3. Excuse me. We on week 3. Oh my God! Wow, this is week 3. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna just say, baby. I'm gonna say in closing, I love you. You are a phenomenal woman. You support me in every way you can. You hold me accountable all the time, and I love you.
I love you more. All right.
I think I love you more.
Listen, Silpers. Y'all don't listen to him. He having a good time. He feeling real good about his life, and I'm great to be a part of it. And I'm glad you all are
Cognac,
part of our show.
Cognac and root beer is a great combination.
All right, Silpers. Same time next week. Same energy. We out.
Hashtag men on the prize.
We sipping in conversation. Sipping in conversation. Beat me up, Scotty. Sipping in conversation.